वेलकम टू दिस एपिसोड ऑफ द हरप्रीत सिंह शो। आज ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਲਿਨ ਕੈਂਟ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਮਦਰਸ ਐਡਵੋਕੇਸੀ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਤੋਂ। ਇਹ ਉਹ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਮਦਰਸ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਬ ਸਹਾਰਾ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਅਤੇ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਪਰਵਰਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਉੱਤੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮਾਇਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੈਲੰਜਸ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਇਮਦਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਲਿਨ ਕੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ।
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you here. So tell us about this organization which you represent, Grandmothers Advocacy Network. What is this organization?
Well, Grandmothers Advocacy Network is quite a large force of older women right across the country who advocate for the work of the grandmothers in sub-Saharan Africa, who are basically sustaining the continent by raising their orphan grandchildren due to the AIDS pandemic. Mm-hmm. We started with the CAMER campaign, which was Canadian Access to Medicines regime. We were advocating for legislative changes to make drugs, generic drugs, accessible and affordable for African people with AIDS. We lost that vote, but put up a significant lobby. The Senate clerk actually said it was the largest lobby they'd ever seen. 7,000 postcards went to the Senate. So it's a testament to what older women can do. Don't write your grandmother off.
Absolutely.
And we lost that vote in the House by 7 votes, which, considering the government was opposed to it, that was a pretty significant effort.
So when we talk about this network of grandmothers, when did it start? And again, is the focus only for sub-Saharan Africa and for persons who are suffering from AIDS, or is it for supporting in all the causes?
It is. It started out of the Grandmother to Grandmother campaign of the Stephen Lewis Foundation in about 2006. It is about the needs of African grandmothers. It's the issues we've addressed are access to medicines, education, and violence against women. However, we are not in sub-Saharan Africa. We are in Canada. So we have to look at it from a perspective of what can we do in Canada. And of course, we have those issues in Canada. We have access to medicine issues. So whatever we do that helps grandmothers in sub-Saharan Africa actually helps us in Canada as well.
So then tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved with this organization?
Well, I heard a speech by Stephen Lewis in 2004, I think it was. I was president of YWCA Canada at the time. And he talked about the need for a multilateral agency of the UN for women. And so I thought the YWCA, having organizations around the world, could help support that. And in fact, created a resolution, and we did lobby for that. Out of that, I learned about the Grandmother to Grandmother campaign and said, I have to be part of that.
Great. So since then, you have been associated with this organization. So how are you trying to create awareness, and what impact is this network having on those people?
Well, I think we have raised the issue of access to medicines. And you may be interested to know that Raj Sani, who is an MP for Kitchener in Ontario, has just the last month put a motion before the House to address issues of research, pharmaceutical research in Canada, with the goal of reducing the cost of medicines. So that's a pretty wonderful thing that has happened. We also advocate for increase in our Canadian donations to the global Partnership for Education
Okay.
to reach children in Africa, well, really around the world.
Right.
We have something like 200 million children out that are not in school in the world. And we also put up a significant lobby with the Canadian government to address child marriage, which they have actually taken a leadership role
Right.
in globally. And so I think, you know, we're having an impact.
Right.
We're getting the messages out.
So funds are raised from here, and then after that, funds are sent over there.
We
So-
don't raise any funds.
Okay. Oh,
we
that's
are.
interesting.
We have no money.
Okay.
We are a completely volunteer network.
Okay.
We raise voices.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. So it's just the advocacy part is looked into.
Well, we are still, you know, fighting for that because we don't think Canada really contributes enough
Right.
to education of children. And what we know from the UN Sustainable Development Goals
Right.
is that education is a huge root out of world poverty and many of the world's significant issues. Environmental, have you heard the new slogan?
Right.
It's not a solar panel, it's a woman.
Yeah.
You know, that is what's going to educate, particularly girls, is
Right.
what they talk about. It's really
Wonderful.
about a girl.
So when you talk about elderly women in Canada as such, you know, there are many issues which come to the forefront, especially when they're alone and financially also they have issues, you know, lots of scams happening. So does your group raise issues of these kind also?
That is one of our issues, which is definitely a big issue in sub-Saharan Africa for these grandmothers. Violence, widow rights, lack of land rights, and those issues extend in Canada.
Right.
We have the same things happening here, violence against elder abuse.
Right.
So it's, while I say our focus, our mandate is sub-Saharan Africa, we
Right.
need to be clear about that. Much of what we talk about ends up being raising awareness
Right.
of the same issues in Canada.
How is your message being taken by the community at large?
Oh, really well. Yeah, really strong support. I think the evidence of 7,000 postcards to
right.
the Senate,
Right.
those were, you know, our friends, where we went out and told people and talked about it, and were very well received. I think it is a huge issue for Canada, period. And so people get it. When you talk to people and you add on top of the issue,
Right.
the situation for grandmothers where they have no voice, no power, and literally sometimes no electricity,
Right.
no water, all of those things that they have on top of the same issues,
Right.
right? It really speaks to people.
See, the world is becoming a global village. There's
It
no
is,
doubt about
yeah.
it. But then also we are finding out that the governments, whichever government it is, of course we have to look after our countries first and then come the other countries.
Yes.
But then our approach towards giving some kind of relief, getting donations for these countries where these kind of issues are much at large as compared to where we live.
Yeah.
What are you finding? How do these advocacy groups have an impact on the governments that are in making decisions, in making change their thinking about issues of these kind?
Well, I think the child marriage issue is a really good example.
Right.
You know, we are in Canada, we are Canadians. We care about the rest of the world. I
Right.
think it's one of the traits of our nation.
Right.
That people are very receptive and willing. And I think our government, I know our government is interested in being part of the international community.
Right.
And when we raise the issues here in Canada,
Right.
they know their constituents care about it. And so that gives them the impetus and the support
Right.
to really follow through. And that's what we are seeing.
And is your network membership based?
Yes.
You have to join this organization. Elders anybody can join?
Yes, anybody can join. As a matter of fact, we call it grandmothers and grandothers.
Okay.
So there are husbands and men and
Right.
younger people without grandchildren who have participated.
Do you find a lot of South Asians coming forward in this
No,
particular organization?
and that's a message we'd really like to get out. We
Right.
would love to have South Asian grandmothers come and share their perspective
Right.
with us, because that refreshes any movement, right?
Absolutely.
To build the larger perspective.
Right. So Lynn, if somebody wants some information, where can they contact you?
You can email. We don't
Okay.
have a phone number because we are a volunteer group. We
Right.
meet in a home.
Okay.
We meet in East Vancouver at a member's home, and our email address is greatervangran@gmail.com.
Greater Van Gan at?
Greatervangran
Okay.
@gmail.com.
Great. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you. and best wishes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
ਸੋ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਨ ਕੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਐਡਵੋਕੇਸੀ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਵਧਾਉਣੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਐਲਡਰਸ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਬ ਸਹਾਰਨ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਚਾਈਲਡ ਮੈਰਿਜ ਦੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਪਾਵਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਏਡਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਚਲਿਤ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ। ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਿ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਥਰੂ ਐਡਵੋਕੇਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾਏ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੈਨਰਿਕ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ। ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਇੰਡੋ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਸਾਡੀ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਮਦਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਇਸ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਨੂੰ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰਨ ਅਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਤੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਈਮੇਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।